Hey guys, welcome back to Truth is Stranger, the podcast where real stories are darker than fiction. I'm Lily.
And I'm Connor. And listen, if you're new here, we're your slightly suspicious friends who dig into creepy true stories you've probably never heard of, or wished you hadn't.
Okay, quick recap. Last week we talked about the toxic woman, Gloria Ramirez, a real-life medical mystery that turned an ER room into a scene straight out of a horror movie.
And at the end, Lily teased tonight's story with the line, "A man receives a phone call from someone who died 3 days earlier," which
Is exactly what we're diving into. Buckle up, because tonight's case is strange, sad, and seriously hard to explain. It's the story of Charles Peck and the train crash that didn't quite end when it was supposed to.
All right, let's set the scene. It's September 12th, 2008, in Los Angeles. Rush hour. People are commuting, texting, zoning out. No one suspects anything.
Then, at 4:22 p.m., Metrolink train 111 collides head-on with a Union Pacific freight train in Chatsworth, California. 25 people are killed, over 100 injured. It's the worst train accident in California in 50 years.
Among the victims, Charles E. Peck, a 49-year-old man on his way to a job interview at LAX. His fiancée, Andrea, is waiting for him at the airport.
But here's where it gets weird.
Really weird.
Hours after the crash, Andrea's phone rings.
It's Charles, or it says it's Charles.
But when she answers, silence. Just static, maybe a faint click. Then the line goes dead.
But the calls don't stop. In total, Charles's phone rings 35 times that night. To his son, his brother, his sister, his stepmother, even his fiancée. Sometimes multiple times.
But no one ever hears his voice.
And get this goes on for 11 hours. The last call comes at 3:28 a.m., just before rescue workers finally find Charles's body in the wreckage.
Which, by the way, shows he died on impact. There was no way he could have made those calls himself.
So, what the hell was happening?
Exactly. That's the mystery. How did a dead man's phone keep calling people all night long?
Okay, let's talk theories.
First up, the glitch theory. Maybe the phone was damaged but still functioning enough to pocket dial his recent contacts.
But 35 times? To different people? And only his loved ones?
Right? What kind of cracked phone is that organized?
Theory 2. Random network behavior. Maybe it's a ghost signal thing. Phones sometimes try to reconnect when signal is lost.
Okay, sure. But those calls actually connected. They rang. His loved ones heard the ringtone. That's not just a signal burp.
And not just once or twice, 35 times.
That's deliberate sounding.
Which brings us to theory 3. Something paranormal.
I mean, this is Truth is Stranger. You knew we were going there.
What if it was Charles? Not in the traditional sense, but what if his energy, or whatever you believe in, was trying to reach out?
To say goodbye. To let them know he was thinking of them in his final moments.
Or maybe he didn't know he was dead yet. That's an actual theory some mediums talk about. Confused spirits trying to reconnect before they move on.
And they don't speak? Just silence on the other end? Nope, I'm out.
Okay, but now I'm spooked. Imagine getting a call from someone you know just died. Right. Listen to this, Lily. Here's another twist. When investigators pulled phone records, they found all the calls did originate from Charles's phone. But when they tried to call it back, straight to voicemail.
And the phone was never found.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Charles's phone was never recovered from the wreckage.
Okay, now it's sounding like a deleted scene from The Ring.
Right? People have said maybe it burned up in the crash or got crushed. But if it was so damaged, how was it calling anyone?
This just doesn't add up.
Connor, you know what's even more heartbreaking?
What?
Andrea, his fiancée, said those calls gave her hope that he was alive, trapped, trying to reach her.
Oh, man.
She must have thought, if he's calling, he must be okay. So she stayed up all night, hoping for a rescue, only to find out the next morning he died instantly.
That's brutal. But one thing's for sure. Those calls made something happen. Every single person who got one remembers exactly where they were, what they felt. That eerie silence.
Like Charles left behind an emotional fingerprint.
That's peep, Lils.
Don't get used to it.
I'm just saying, it's a moment. I'm gonna treasure it.
Okay, Sappy. Let's get back to the strangeness, because there's more.
Oh, we're not done?
Nope, not even close. So here's what doesn't get talked about enough. It wasn't just his fiancée, Andrea, who got those calls.
Yeah, this part creeps me out.
Charles's son, brother, sister, and stepmother also received missed calls from his number. Not just once, multiple times. But here's the kicker. Every time they answered, same thing.
Dead air?
Dead air. No voice. Sometimes a faint click or static. Once, his sister said she thought she heard breathing, but then it was gone.
Oh my God, that makes my skin crawl.
Right? And think about it. Every single one of them had that horrible moment of hope. Like, oh my God, maybe he's alive. Maybe he's calling for help.
They stayed up all night, waiting, calling him back, texting, praying.
But every callback went straight to voicemail. Nothing. Until eventually, the calls just stopped.
And then they found him.
Yeah. Hours later, 3:28 a.m. was the last call. At 4:30 a.m., rescuers finally reached his body. He was in the front of the train, and he had died instantly in the crash. That's confirmed.
No injuries that would have let him linger, no crawling to his phone, no making 35 outgoing calls.
Exactly.
Here's the thing I keep circling back to. If the phone survived enough to make 35 outgoing calls, where is it now?
That's the million-dollar question. It was never found.
Not in the wreckage?
Nope. Rescuers and investigators combed through everything. They found wallets, shoes, bits of metal, but not his phone.
So it basically ghosted, no pun intended.
Very pun intended. But yeah, it's like the phone vanished.
Okay, let's speculate. If you had to go full Twilight Zone, what's your theory?
Honestly, I think energy lingers. And maybe in that moment between life and death, he just reached out to the people he loved the most.
Like an echo?
Yeah, exactly. A technological echo. Phones are weirdly personal. We live our whole lives on them. Maybe in those final moments, his energy just glitched through.
That's weirdly beautiful and terrifying.
Here's something else that gives me chills. After the crash, Andrea never changed her voicemail greeting because it had Charles's voice on it. She said she'd call herself just to hear him say, "Hey, it's me, leave a message." I know. She later told reporters that those missed calls haunted her, but they also comforted her, like part of him had tried to come back to say goodbye.
That's the part that sticks with me. Not just the mystery of how, but the why.
Right? It wasn't random. His phone didn't call his office or his dentist. It called his people, the ones who would be thinking about him, hoping for him.
That's what makes it feel intentional, somehow.
And what makes it feel unresolved?
Has anyone tried to recreate it, like scientifically?
There were some phone forensics done. AT&T confirmed the call logs were real, but once the phone stopped pinging towers, the trail just ended.
So the science hit a wall?
Exactly. And that's the thing about stories like this. Science can't always explain everything. Sometimes it just happens.
And we're left with silence and static and 35 unanswered questions.
But here's the part I can't shake, Connor. This isn't the only case like this.
Wait, you're telling me there's more?
Yep. In fact, there's a whole genre of these creepy cases. Phone calls from the dead.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain before I throw my phone out the window.
All right, story time. Back in 1968, A guy named Charles Lintz reported getting a phone call from his mother 3 days after she passed away. The phone rang at the same time every night for a week. When he answered, silence.
Hold up. Also, silence?
Yep, but he said he recognized the breathing, that soft, raspy inhale she had when she got older. Every hair on his body stood up.
This is giving me chills.
Another one? In 2008, just months after Charles Peck's case, a woman in Queens named Teresa said her cousin kept getting voicemails from her father's number after he died.
I'm afraid to ask. What did the voicemail say?
They didn't say anything, just a low humming, like a fan. But when they enhanced the audio, you can faintly hear someone whisper, "I'm okay."
Nope. Nuh-uh. I'm tapped out.
Too late, you're already in this episode. You can't uncreep yourself.
Okay, devil's advocate here. Couldn't this just be grief? Like, when you want something so badly, your brain fills in the blanks?
Sure, that's called apophenia, seeing patterns where none exist. The brain trying to make meaning out of noise.
So like emotional Rorschach tests with your ringtone.
Exactly. But here's the catch. Many of these calls are documented on phone bills, audio recordings, timestamps.
So they're not just imagined.
Parapsychologists call it instrumental transcommunication, or ITC. It's the idea that the dead can reach out through electronic means. Phones, radios.
Like EVP? Electronic voice phenomena?
Same idea, but more active. Like, instead of hearing ghosts in recordings, they're actually using the device to reach you.
Man, we made this podcast and I still wasn't prepared.
One investigator, Dr. Konstantin Raudiv, claimed to have recorded hundreds of messages from the dead using just a radio and a tape recorder.
What did they say?
Stuff like, "We're still here, don't be afraid," or "Tell Anna I forgive her."
That's oddly comforting.
Exactly. Most weren't threats. They were goodbyes or reassurance. Like Charles Peck's calls. He didn't speak, but the act itself meant something.
Okay, so here's a theory. What if our devices are like little liminal doorways? Just enough tech, just enough energy, and just enough emotion?
I like that. Phones are personal. We carry them, sleep beside them. Maybe they're not just tools. Maybe they're channels.
Which means sometimes they ring when they're not supposed to.
There's this one quote I love from an ITC researcher. Sometimes the dead don't knock on the wall. They just call.
Chills. Literal chills.
So tonight, when your phone buzzes in the early hours, maybe don't answer.
Okay, I know you guys might have thought this is it, but we'd be lying if we said Charles's story was the only one that gave us goosebumps.
Because this phenomenon, it's more common than people realize. You hear whispers, maybe in ghost forums, maybe in Reddit rabbit holes. But once you start looking, you find a lot.
Let's hit you with a few more that'll have you sleeping with your phone on airplane mode.
Case in point, David Greeley, 2012, small town, Minnesota. His wife dies suddenly of an aneurysm. 2 days later, he gets a voicemail from her. Her number. He opens it.
What did it say?
It's her humming. Just humming a lullaby she used to sing to their daughter. Not speaking, not crying, just humming. Like she always did when folding laundry.
Oh, God.
David swears it's real. He plays the message at her funeral. Half the crowd walks out, the other half weeps.
Okay, next one. This one stuck with me.
Do I want to know?
You don't, but I'm telling you anyway. Chicago, 1999. A teenage girl named Erica loses her cousin in a hit and run. 3 days later, she texts her cousin's number just to say goodbye, kind of like closure.
Totally something I'd do.
The phone replies with one word, run.
Oh, hell no.
That same night, her apartment catches fire from a faulty heater. She gets out because she stayed up reading that text.
Do we even know who sent it?
Nope, no one ever found the phone. It had been deactivated 3 days earlier.
Okay, just when I thought we'd hit peak creep factor, there's another case I found.
Why do I feel like I'm gonna regret hearing this?
Because you probably will. This one's called the Greenfield voicemail. And back in 2013, a woman named Dana R. from Greenfield, Indiana, loses her father unexpectedly to a heart attack. They were really close. He died alone at home. A week later, she's scrolling through her phone and sees a missed voicemail, timestamped 2:16 a.m.
Okay, first red flag, 2:16 a.m.
Right? But here's the kicker. It's from her dad's number. Yes. She freaks out, listens to it, and it's distorted, like someone underwater trying to speak through static. But if you slow it down, you can clearly make out 4 words. Don't trust the mirror.
No, I hate that. I hate everything about that.
She thought it was a prank, but the number had been disconnected for 5 days. When she reported it to Verizon, they couldn't explain it. Nothing on their logs. She swears the voice was his. She saved the message for years, but it eventually corrupted and deleted itself during a software update.
Okay, mirrors are officially banned in my house now.
Ready for another one?
Of course. Why not completely ruin our listeners' ability to sleep?
All right, New Orleans, 2002, an EMT named Julio responds to a warehouse fire. Inside, they find a burned cell phone, melted, partially fused to the ground. The screen is still cracked, but displaying a blinking message, one new voicemail.
From the grave?
They recover the chip and manage to retrieve the voicemail. It's 11 seconds of someone whispering and then screaming, loud, raw. They think it might have belonged to a factory worker who died in a fire months earlier. Same building, same section. His phone had never been recovered.
Was there an investigation?
Kind of. It was passed off as a hoax, but the EMT still had the audio on a recorder. It's circulated online as the warehouse wail, but most clips are distorted or cut off now.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Julio retired the next year and swore off answering emergency calls in that district. Said the energy in that place wasn't right.
You know what I think? Phones are portals. Not the magic kind, just thin spots. Thin enough for something to bleed through, even for just a few seconds.
That might be the creepiest and most believable theory you've ever said. All right, last one before I throw my phone away permanently. Case, the Shanghai elevator call.
I'm already scared. Go on.
A man named Chen Bu dies in a hotel elevator accident. Snapped cable, instant. Hours later, a receptionist at the front desk answers a call from the elevator's emergency line.
Let me guess. No one's there.
Worse, she hears breathing, then static, then the line disconnects. They trace it. It came from the elevator Chen died in. And here's the kicker, the emergency line had been severed in the crash.
Okay, I think I just got colder, like the room dropped a few degrees.
Seriously, same. Look, we're not here to say ghosts are calling people.
But we are saying something's happening. Something measurable. Something real.
These are not just stories. These are phone records, voicemails, data, things that should not be happening.
So what do we call it? Energy? Consciousness? Echoes from another place?
All right, friends, that's really the end. Unless one of you gets a call from Charles Peck.
This was Truth a Stranger. I'm Con.
And I'm Lily. We'll catch you next time. Unless you catch us first.
And please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. We really appreciate your support.
Bye, guys. Take care of you.